Alright, thanks for clicking on the video. This is Gulpane, just back with a quick PSP review, and this one is OutRun 2006 Coast to Coast for the PSP. And this one was developed by Sumo Digital, published by Sega, and released for the PSP in 2006 in all territories. And this is a single player but also a multiplayer as well. I think you could link it up. I think you can link this one up with the PS2 as well, although I'm not 100% sure about that. Or there's some feature which connects to the PS2, and this was released for multiple systems. The original Xbox, PS2, PSP, and apparently each different version has like something that's sort of, it's not like a direct port, or it's not like the exact game on the different system. Well, it is the exact game, but it's not like exactly the same on each different system. Something makes it all different. So I really like this one actually. There's no story in this, but I think like the kind of the OutRun series, it has this kind of charm, even going back to like the older games where it's like a point to point race. It's not like a circuit. There is circuits in this actually as well, but the old well, it's kind of circuits. You kind of have to go around. But I think the old-fashioned, what I'm trying to say here is the old-fashioned kind of OutRun mode, which is the one I like the best, where you basically have to go from the start and then keep going, and then if you reach the they're not really circuits, they're more sort of like point to point. If you reach the checkpoint, then words will come to me eventually. If you reach the checkpoint, then you basically keep going and you get time added on. So I really like that kind of mechanic, because I don't know, going around the circuit is okay, but I think in OutRun it's not really like a track sort of game. I always consider OutRun to be like, out on the street, or out on the highway. Sorry, not the street, out on the highways, kind of just driving along and like not really racing anyone else, but like encountering other vehicles on the way. This one, it looks like, you're kind of, I think you are racing like a rival in this one. But most of the time you're just sort of, well, for me anyway, most of the time, because I come last, or I seem to race myself. This does have the old classic OutRun music as well, which I really like. And it has like a kind of different versions of the tunes as well, which is always nice. You can pick different cars in this one as well. You don't have to just go for the red Ferrari, as like as with the traditional OutRun games. My experience with OutRun is like basically this game and like the one that was out in the 80s, because I think I played the arcade original OutRun, and I think I played it on I emulated the Master System version just to see what it was like, and I think it was only the arcade one I've played actually, to be honest, because I remember doing it for like a high score challenge. Not a score obviously, but a time, but for a high score challenge we all kind of tried to get like the best time, or get the farthest. It was in OutRun. I think that was the only time I ever played it. So this one then is a lot different actually, because it has a lot more modes and it's a lot more up to date than those older ones. So number one, you can pick like different cars. You can get, there's not as much customization with the cars though in this one in OutRun as there is with kind of Need for Speed games. I think Need for Speed games are not really, they're not simulation games. They're still sort of arcadey, but this one is like really like arcade sort of game. It does have a license and all that, and there is like progression, and you have to do certain things in order to unlock stuff, or even like different tracks. You have to do certain things in order to do it. So it's not like an arcade game where you just basically just like there's one mode and you just put in your 20p or whatever, and you drive, or your 20 cent. So there is like a lot of stuff to do in this. I did like the kind of the way OutRun. What I really like about OutRun is how it goes from like one kind of countryside bit to another really fast. Like you'll go from like a kind of a town area, and then a few seconds later you'll be in like the middle of nowhere, or you'll go from like a beach area, and then a few seconds later you'll be on like a highway. So I really like that. I kind of like the it's kind of like based in reality. A lot of the other games, the racing games, they're sort of like track based, where you're going around, not in a circle, like, but you're going around a track, and it just doesn't seem like you're actually driving around. Whereas this one, the ones that are in the street, or kind of the urban locations, or this sort of like highway style location. I find the aesthetic of those a lot better, and I like them a lot better as well than kind of traditional racing games. So like I don't like F1 games, but I like OutRun. That sort of that sort of mentality. So the very impressive, I think, bit with OutRun, and does it is quite common with a lot of the PSP racing games, is like the graphics. They're just fantastic. For some reason, the racing games look great on PSP. It was like it was made to have racing games, or the speed at which it can process the draw distance is like fantastic. It's very, very good. I'm sure there's some way they're doing it, which is not that graphically intensive, or I don't know. I'm not really an expert in any, but I'm sure there's some way that developers can do it. So that is Need for, or not Need for Speed. That is OutRun 2006 Coast to Coast. So let me know if you've played it. Another good part as well is when you do the style points, and when you do like a drift or something. That was I forgot to say that there. That was a very good bit in it, and you can get kisses from your significant other, which is cool. So that's OutRun 2006 Coast to Coast. If you played this, let me know in the comment section below. And thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next video. Adios.